Right. So I know this is kind of a cliche sentiment, and it's a topic that's discussed quite a lot. So I won't, talk about it for too long. But it's something that the importance of which can't really be overstated. I think the idea of not making sure not to lose touch with the love of your craft and the feelings that made you start doing this thing in the first place, because a lot of people who are trying to make it as artists, or maybe even not just artists, maybe other things, I guess, crafts in a more literal sense, or I don't know, any other kind of passion that you try and turn into a job, you try and make money from. Presumably, in almost all cases, there was some feeling it gave you, some good feeling it gave you that made you want to. Oh, one moment. Sorry, I remembered something some lyrics that I thought of last night in bed, and I was really tired, and I guess I just fell asleep, and I just remember them now. I had to write them down really quick. But there was some feeling that made you, want to do that full time, to turn it into a job, to make money from it, to be more well known for doing it. And I think that can get lost in trying to make it into a career, or trying to make things that other people like, or trying to be professional, or trying to be consistent, or trying to work very hard, trying to grind, trying to promote things. It's really hard to maintain that feeling. Like when I first started making music, I was I didn't even spend that much time on it, I used to feel very insecure about that, because I'd hear all these all my heroes and stuff talking about how they used to spend every waking minute making music, and I was never like that at all. But I loved it. It was so important to me. Writing, I guess it's different as well for writing lyrics. It's, I guess, more in line with poets and writers and things like that, and that's not necessarily something that's a grind usually. So for me back then, I didn't spend that much time on it, but it was so important to me, and it gave me so much. It was such a good feeling. It felt incredible, and I was very, very in touch with it. I had a really good relationship with it, and I think I got better as I got older. But I also have been trying more and more to make it into a career, to make it marketable. I wouldn't say I've succeeded. And I've... it's not that I make things that I don't like. It's not even that I really make things for other people's ear. But I found myself at times making things where I have to intellectualize it. And I say, yeah, this is good, But I have to say it, and it's true. It's not that it's bad, it's good. And I'm proud of those songs, but I have to say it. I don't just completely feel it deep inside me, And I know that's a thing people say a lot, when you make art, you have to feel it so strongly, and you have to have all this passion and all this, and it can be a bit annoying, and it's a thing often that kind of pretentious people say, but it's just so true. I've realised it recently, if it doesn't move you, then it's not going to move anybody else. And it might, even if it does move you, it might not move anybody else. But if it doesn't, then it definitely won't. So it's really important, I think, to stay in touch with what made you feel strongly about this thing in the first place, and to try to never lose that, or at least remember that it's there when everything else fails, because you may never make it. Most people don't achieve the level of success they want. Almost everybody who sets high standards for themselves in that regard has high ambitions, creatively ends up being, in their own eyes, kind of a failure, really. Most people don't ever achieve a fraction of the success that they want. So it's very important, at least, to maintain that love for what you do, and to make things where you can say, okay, forget if this is like good for Spotify, forget if this is the type of painting that's popular at the moment, forget if this is something that I can imagine other people liking, forget if this is all cohesive and it looks cool and it fits together, forget all of that. I think like, just think like, if I died and people were going to go through this, what would I want to express of myself? What part of myself would I want to leave behind? What part of myself would I want to put into the world? It's everything else stops being as much of a problem when you do that, when you think of it like that. I've been getting very torn up about, like how things have gone and my music and everything else, and then this last project, I just released it yesterday, and I don't even care if anybody listens to it, to be honest, because I really enjoyed making it, and sometimes it's really important to have an audience for art, right? Like if you're really serious about it, like I think it is really important. I don't believe in this thing of like, it just doesn't matter if anybody sees it, you create it anyway. I do think, like for me personally, the reason I do it is like, as well, because it feels really good to do, but also I want people to see it, and I want it to have an effect on people, and I want it to have a positive effect on the world. But in the short term, that's not achievable for me, right? So I think sometimes when I worry about that, it's a manifestation of my own insecurities about my work. Like, I'm waiting for validation, because I know most of the time when I put these projects out, I'm not going to like get all the success I'm after. So in a way, I'm like kind of looking for short-term validation. It's not all about the long-term success. There's a part of me is like, is this good? Do people like it? And like, maybe I have my own deep-seated doubts about the work. And again, I don't think it's that it's bad. But when I finished this last project and put it out, and it was exactly the kind of thing I would just make naturally. There was no element of like, I'm trying to put together a thing and this is good for Spotify and this has this sound and this will do. I wasn't thinking about how other people would perceive it. I wasn't thinking about it. All I was thinking is, I like this. This feels good to make. This is just naturally what I want to make. And as a result, I'm not thinking about any of that other stuff. And to be honest with you, if somebody said they didn't like this, in my head I'd just be like, you're a fucking idiot, like you're wrong, or just, okay, I don't care. Like, obviously people have their own tastes, like not everyone who doesn't like it is a fucking idiot, but that's kind of what I would just think, you're wrong, like or the more important part, I guess, is I wouldn't care. I really wouldn't care, because I know that it's good because of how it affects me, because of how I feel when I listen to it. And at the very least, that's not going to help you achieve your goals, but at the very least, it's a really, really good foundation to start from. And again, going back to, if it doesn't move you, then it's not going to move anybody else. So, yeah, I think if you're stuck, if you're in a rut with your work, just go back to that. Just do things that give you strong feelings, things that make you feel sad, or that make you feel happy, or that make you feel, fearful, or any kind of strong emotion, whatever it was, that things that make you feel calm, maybe even, whatever it was that, that you liked about it to begin with. Because that might be all you have, and regardless, again, great place to start from, and hopefully in the end that will pay off for you and for me. Fingers crossed.